Hey, hey.
Hey everybody, good to be here. Great, yeah. Thanks all for joining. We're going to be chatting a little bit about the future of creating games within Nifty. It goes beyond that too eventually, but we'll kind of give a teaser of what we've been cooking for a while. I think it's probably one of the most important updates we've had since launching the game. Always wanted this to be a platform where people can create tons of variety of gameplay. That's sort of the whole purpose of making a UGC platform, as it remains fresh and players and third party creators can keep the game interesting over time and actually define what makes a fun game in Nifty rather than us, guessing and trying to do it ourselves. And that has been sort of true with maps that people can make custom maps, quests. There's and 3D assets. They're cool vectors for UGC today. But what we've been working on is super exciting because it should open up actual gameplay variety and third party creators making games, which is what makes platforms like Roblox so entertaining and kind of endlessly sticky. So yeah, we're excited to talk about it. Zach, do you want to chime in?
I do. So this is our first official mention of like the work we've been doing on scripting, and it's going to also be the first sneak peek into what's going to be possible with the initial rollout. And there's a lot possible with the initial rollout. It's going to be great, and then we're going to be taking feedback and doing a bunch of iteration on just like adding nodes. So you're like, hey, I want to do this particular thing. Can we add functionality to like get this information or like change this thing on the island? Um, but yeah, so I have a few videos I'm going to play, just some examples, and then, uh, and yes, I will. Um, and then we can just have some questions about it. So I'll give a little overview here. So we've had primarily one dev working on this or making this experience with this. And he has this game that he's made, which is like kind of a simple MOBA. And for those not familiar, like it's I'm not going to explain what a MOBA is, but he's got a bunch of like interesting parts of a game here that feed into this game loop that's completely custom and written with the scripting tools. I'll show you like the scripting interface and then like the actual game that was made with it. So that's what this is primarily going to be, is like this example, and then after that we can talk kind of generally about like what other stuff can you do with this. And this is actually like one of the more complicated examples. So there's a lot of like simpler games than this you'll be able to make. So I wanted to kind of show you what this system is going to be capable of at launch. Also, I see Demo is here, so feel free to chime in if there's anything you want to say. Otherwise, I'm just going to rip. I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to start with. I'll show you the game script first. So first, we'll take a look at this as the like scripting view. So I'll just kind of pause here and let you look around. So you'll have a bunch of scripts you can edit. This particular one is the script for the game itself. And we'll look at some other ones later that are like scripts for like components of the game. But this is probably the best starting point. This is like, what's the game loop? How do I win the game? How do I like get a score? What ends the game? What happens when the game starts? All that kind of stuff. And I'll just kind of I'll get into this in more detail. It basically is a a visual scripting interface where you can drop down nodes, drag nodes into each other, and hook logic up to itself. So you can see nodes have inputs and outputs. There's this is kind of a lot of inspiration taken from visual scripting in Unreal Engine, where they have this like execution path is these little plate looking buttons that tell you like when something happens, what triggers something happening, and then there's data that you can pass underneath that. So you use those two paths to just hook up logic here. You can see this is a good one. So on killed, you set someone's score. These can hook in from like different places. What is this core 0, core 1? We'll find those later in this presentation. So one cool thing here. So the scripting is, I mean, there's so much to say about how it's built. It's built in a way that's like very flexible, but like also very easy to use. Like you just hop into this menu from the game and you're scripting in the game. By the way, this isn't like an external tool that you'd have to download to script. So if you just want to like play with it simply and you can hop in, tweak something, it's not a cumbersome external tool. But it's very flexible. So like this concept of variables is really useful. The idea is you can make a script that's a bunch of logic, and you in like a coming release, you'll be able to like sell scripts to other people or maybe like rent them out, and like get a like foot traffic share, TBD on the exact mechanics of that. But some way you'll be able to like share and monetize your scripts. And what's cool about the way we built this is that you can basically sell like a script, but then place an instance of the script on your island and change specific things about that. So how that works is like you have these exposed variables and you can hook them up to different things on your island. So someone might make like a script with like a boss at the end of the island, but it's like, okay, well my island looks different than your island. How do I know where this boss spawns? The idea is you can place like a locator, or you can place specific things on your island to hook up to a script made by somebody else. So it's this concept of like instancing a script, right, and exposing variables to be hooked up outside when you're like creating the game or in build mode and stuff like that. So that's what makes these scripts transferable to other players, which is going to be a huge part of the ecosystem in the future. And the future is very close. So this is just showing you, high-level hookup of logic in the game itself. Here's the overview of the game. So this is the whole game, and you know what? I'm actually not going to give this away yet. Let's dig into that. So we saw him running into a little collider with some labels on it. What does that mean? So this is the script for a shot, and this was made custom for this game. And it's basically like a trigger zone hooked up, through an instance like we mentioned, and it does some stuff when you walk into it. Now, what's cool for this game, what he did was he made basically like under the hood, it's like a score, but he made a currency called gold, and you get gold for killing players and doing objectives, right? This is like typical in like a MOBA. There's like some sort of currency you get, and you can go and you can spend it. So the shop is what you go to spend that currency on. So he's got these shops. You can see each shop has just an instance of this script above it. So it's not like he had to write a new script for each shop. They're reusing this. And he's just got these colliders in the world. They're like trigger zones that you walk into. And these are like part of the game too. So you can see like he just left the edit mode and they disappear, right? So they're not sitting around on your island. They're actually spawned as like part of the game. And so are the labels. So, your island doesn't have to be ugly. When you run into them, you can see you can't double jump in this game. It's just the game settings. Now he bought double jump. You don't have a gun. He walks into the gun. Now he's got a gun. Oh, nice. We got this floor for ammo. And you're buying it with... buying grenades with gold. So pretty cool. So this is all using that one shop script. He was able to, make this whole like purchasing system. Cool. So that's the shop. Let's look at gold on kill. Oh, we'll look at this one briefly. So I actually won't show the script for this one, but it's got its own script, right? And so he's got, there's killing other players is one part of it, but you can actually like what he's done is made these sort of towers that you have to kill as part of your team's objective, and the enemy team has towers that they're trying to kill. You get stuff for killing those, and you get gold for killing them. Yeah, you get gold, and then that's it. So that's the tower. They each have the same script on them. Let's take a look at turret. There we go. So detecting a range and then shooting a thing, and it could be shooting anything. We'll have more like we want to do more like custom bullet stuff you can do in the future. So like shooting completely custom stuff, you could lob a chair at you that knocks you back a million miles or something like that if you wanted to. Right now it's just using the stuff that we already have in game, so it's shooting grenades. It could be shooting like ultra bullets or something like that. So here we have an in-game turret made with the script. And the cool thing about that, like the one cool thing about it, there's a lot that's cool about it. The script, this particular turret script isn't tied to this game. It's used in the game, but you could go and take this turret script and use it on another game or on another island or something like that. So it's all very composable, and it's built so you don't have to write things more than once. Yeah. Take a peek at this turret script. Yeah, go ahead.
Cool if I highlight a couple things that are pretty novel about this. So just when you guys compare this to other systems that exist in other games, this is totally live and done within the game client. So in most games, take Fortnite, you're booting up Fortnite Creative. You basically have a version of Unreal that's a little bit more user friendly and tailored specifically for Fortnite. But you're doing it in a separate client. You can't do it live within the game. This is all live creation within the game. And what you're seeing here, just in case it wasn't perfectly clear, you're seeing a full MOBA within Nifty. Obviously, not built to be 100% polished. This is just Dan doing it basically when he's not working on other things. But it's a full-fledged MOBA within Nifty. And then what Zach's also mentioning that is unique to this and I don't think exists in other UGC platforms is that every component of this game could be used by other people. So just taking the turret logic or taking the store logic, these sorts of things can be passed around and sort of remixed from different players. So on a whole, what you have here is something that is designed to be a significantly more approachable form of UGC and game creation than what you have in Roblox or Fortnite. You're doing it in the client. You're not booting up. You're not having to download Unity or Unreal. You're able to borrow parts from other game creators and make things that are still pretty advanced. And we have some other stuff, but yeah, just want to highlight that. This is pretty different than what you have elsewhere.
Yeah, and another cool part that we haven't implemented yet. We're going to hold off for the initial release, but it's under the hood built to support multiplayer editing as well. So if you wanted to work with somebody on a a complex script or tweak something together, you could edit these nodes together, sort of like you're working in the same Lucid chart or Google Doc or something like that. And that's also very novel. So yeah, meant to be accessible, meant to be composable. That's it. And I saw someone in the chat said we needed bosses. Okay, so we'll look at the boss. And this is just where the system's at right now. And we've got kind of a pretty cool thing going on here. Defend your base. So you can imagine, you could have one script and just have a bunch of these things kind of roaming around too, shooting you. This one's, he's got the targeted attack. He's got a bunch of AOE attacks. You can imagine how, and this is a bit of a technical spike too, but you can imagine how this thing moving around, maybe seeking players a bit. You can now make custom enemies. And then as for PvE experiences, we kind of mentioned this before in the last one. the last one of these campfire chats. Yeah, we will. You'll be able to use like some of the um, hostile NPCs that we have coming in playground games too. So that's going to help a lot. So not only the ability to like make custom entities that you can fight, um, but there will be some drop-in stuff that will if you want to make just like groups of enemies or like do like a horde mode type of thing. PVE stuff is coming, but yeah. So yeah, this is it's kind of. I think let's just do the whole game here. Just watch the whole game one. Starting off with that speed, so you can you want to be able to get the rest of these quickly. That's the meta. Here he's just routed in the zombie for infection. So now he's got the slash. But that jump height was a mistake. He's got no control. And this is of course like everything you can do with playground games now you can do here. So like you can set up team games, you can do custom like team logic. You want to name your teams or like um, set these objectives to have a particular team who's trying to kill them. All this is compatible with that. There you go. He's got 150 gold. He's going for the big one. It's probably easier with the gun, but until it's released, we won't know the meta for this game. We're just gonna believe that he's hitting it in here. Okay, so that's it. So that's the game loop. You're trying to kill a few things. Meanwhile, what makes it actually interesting is there's another team of players trying to kill you and destroy yours. So it's sort of like a defense mode of your objectives, but with dying, respawning, and upgrading your character permanently and otherwise. So pretty cool. And this is just this is one example that our dev was able to cook up, and obviously there's like you can go anywhere from here, and a lot simpler. There's a lot of simpler stuff to do that hasn't been done in the game yet with like some of the game modes. I made my initial spike on this was sort of like a gun game. You get kills to like get a better weapon or a worse weapon or whatever direction you want to do it. And I also had you like changing costumes. So you started as a lamp, and then you get a kill and you turn to a chair, that kind of thing. I had one that I wanted to make. We're still working on the scripting for it, but like you kind of just like have this giant donut in the middle, and when you get kills, like the donut moves to either side, and you can like stand on it and fight on it and whatever. And then, once you get into the other team's goal, then you win. Stuff like that. There's a lot of little zany games that you can make that are a lot simpler than this one. So this is just kind of showing one example of like going pretty far with it. And obviously players will go a lot further. Oh, someone asking about balls. Yeah.
Is this going to be open to everyone, or is it going to be limited?
Yeah, so I mean, eventually it will. The plan is to probably launch to palm holders at first, especially just to get some testing on it. Um, but we started doing that, like rollout of some of these large features, just the ones that we can, to palm holders as well. So
Yep.
that is the plan. I could talk briefly about. I want to open up to questions and then just hop in the game with everybody. But I'll just talk briefly about like where the system's going to go after this, and we touched a little bit on it with like you'll be able to sell games and like transfer them on the marketplace, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be like pretty huge, I think, for game creation, and also just like maybe I'm a better host than I am like a creator, and how do I get some good content on my island? You just buy it on the marketplace, right, from someone who's making it, and you can have good content on your island, but also you're pretty much there to host. Um, another part that we're looking at doing pretty soon after this initial release, or like one of the next steps is um, like uh, taking this custom game logic and allowing you to use it to make custom quests. So the current working idea is like you make a like kind of quest criteria. So you drop down like a custom quest script, and it has like something like a node drop down that's like, how do players get quest points? And all the logic up to that, you can fill it in however you want. Maybe it's like catching this fish. Maybe it's like playing this game, or maybe it's like finding something on the island and scanning it. You want to do a treasure hunt or something. Maybe it's I don't know. I could go through every scenario possible. Anyway, there's a lot of things you can do, and we're going to be adding more nodes to do something like that. So, but imagine you have this, you know, just a script on your island. You can just run it to test it, and you get quest points by doing certain stuff. And then you can leverage the existing quest system to say, like, I want to set some eligibility criteria. I want to, like, here are the prizes I want to give away. You make a quest normally with like a custom quest type, and then you just select your script and just drop that into the quest, and that's your custom quest. So um, what that means is you don't have to use like the few like canned quest types that we've defined and like have been like every quest that's existed so far. Those are like easy, low effort ones to drop down that anyone will still be able to. But maybe also you'll be able to buy. I mean, no reason you couldn't buy and sell custom quests for other people to use as well. And they can, you're a host type. Maybe you don't want to create, but you do want to host people on your island. You just buy a quest type from someone on the marketplace and then run it. Stuff like that. So that's one of like there's a lot of things we're looking at for quests and how to make the system like more compelling, less grindy, and more like fun. But that's, I think, a big unlock is just like truly opening it up to completely custom quests. And that's how we would do it, is the plan. And then kind of next step is like there's just general like scripting. And when I say general scripting, I mean like outside of the context of any game or like quests or anything like that. I just want to drop some logic on my island that says, when I press this button, I open this door, for example. That's like the most simple example. But within that, you can do a lot of cool stuff. Like I can make a puzzle game, like press the buttons in this order, or like, this thing is behind this door. You need a key. Bring the key over this other door. Whatever. You can make like a whole puzzle island. You can make, or just like maybe you just want to make like an interactive mansion. You can walk through, you can explore, whatever. All kinds of stuff you could do. There's infinite possibilities. You people are more creative than I am, so um, that's just like kind of general scripting. And I think this just entails us like making a few more devices, like buttons, switches, maybe like multi-level switches, things that are like logical inputs, and more things that can tie the outputs to. As for like the like opening a door, or like making it, like a platform move or something, we have like animation support stuff we've been working on for a little bit, quite some time actually, and that's gonna basically just open up all that stuff. So there will be like in the standard build packs, there's going to be doors to open, trap doors, and moving stuff like flippers. There's some really cool stuff in some of the upcoming packs that's based around um, animation and like configuring it. So, you can imagine like you can hook any logic into an animation. It's like play an animation, and then you can, or the part that's taken a bit for us is like actually having like the knockback work really well. If you get hit by a flipper. So that's still coming. It's getting close. And then the last part of Quest that I wanted to talk about, like what's coming, is sort of the concept of like overworld island progression on your island. A way to kind of like make progression infinite. We have a lot of stuff that's coming that's like sort of like meta world progression. Progression for like fishing, for example, will have more progression, but that's like by definition is going to be finite. And what we'd like to do is have the world and like the stuff to do in it be infinite. And the way that we kind of see that working is making progression infinite through like having it on anyone's island. So you could see like through scripting, like configuring a way to set like a user's XP or level on your island, like within the context of your island, or the ability to like route something to like full clear an island. So you do this, this, this. You've cleared my island for like the next 24 hours, and maybe you get something for clearing a certain number of islands. It's all determined by the island owner what it means to clear your island. That kind of stuff. So like overworld progression through scripting as well. So those are the four kind of areas we're looking at: playground games, quests, general logical hookups, and like island progression that like we see scripts applying to. And I think that's kind of the end of my rant, and can open it up to questions, conversation, and just gameplay. Hopping into alone on this island, basically, but
Chilo.
hop onto another island. Yeah, I got.
Do you think we're able to like process like player made economies real soon?
Player-made economy, sure. I mean, you want to define what you mean by
Like
that?
for example, we tease gold. They're able to create golds in game like during just games. But what I mean is in game in general. Like for example, in Roblox, players are creating their own tokens, own currency and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that ties right in with that like island progression. Like if you wanted to define like a currency for your island, that particular one is like an off-chain currency. If you're talking about like actually launching a token,
No,
that might be
just in
something a little
game.
different. Is that? Yeah. So that would be fully supported by something like that island, like island level scripting. The ability to basically like save data per user on your island lets you do everything like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm
I
waiting for you
hopped on
for you
to
guys at the island. Let me
yeah, I missed out on that shard.
Wait,
I'm on River Valley
Yo, 101v1. Yeah, you're a third shard.
with me and Pokemon Face on River
I'm
Valley.
on you. How about you, Charles? Are you in game?
I'm at Zach's, so I on my kind of dinky laptop right now.
Oh,
What's
That's why he sounds like that.
Watch me be him.
Yeah, do I sound like a robot still?
Yep, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because I'm guzzling all the network.
Do I still sound bad?
Nope.
No, that's good.
Now.
I think.
Take it. It was just Discord being weird. But Six. So, what's the protocol for people who want to ask questions? Can they raise their hand? How do you want to do this?
Just go ahead.
Go ahead. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll only ask. Keep it like pretty much on topic for the most part, or we can just kind of vibe. No self promotion, and that's it. We're here hanging, and if you want to,
I have my question.
yeah, go for it. Who is this?
This is Mellow Mike.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Less of a question, more of a suggestion. Just seeing how like a lot of code is trending towards AI. It's definitely not the visual scripting is different than that, but I definitely see an opportunity to kind of meld the two. Would it be possible to just create like a nifty AI that's plugged into like all the developer docs and whatnot that can help people and just be like holding your hand to build this kind of stuff? So it'll spit out. I think that would just be a great idea to incorporate that. Just lessen that learning curve. Just build an official nifty AI on the web app or something so that people can ask it a bunch of questions on how to build games and use visual scripting.
That'd be really cool. Possible it could be in game too.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly
I'm
we'll
doing the
have
vegan bit.
docs. We'll have plenty of docs for this too. Not discounting the AI, we should definitely do that. But we'll do a lot of live help with this one too as it launches. But it's also not out of the question that you could like AI generate scripts. Like it's not
Could
like the
we
visual
like?
scripting is.
Sorry, go for it.
This is something that would would be what a ways off, but like the scripts are under the hood, like effectively code. There's like the visual aspect of it is, you know, like where the actual things are placed is best done by a human probably. But
Yeah, but it's.
who
I'm
knows? But
assuming it's just like a JSON script or something. So like, could you be able to just inject a pure JSON script into it and just like if you are a more advanced person, like with that option, uh, do that instead?
um, possibly, I'm not sure.
I can answer that one. So
Yeah, go
the
for it.
question is, you're asking, could you inject a pure JSON script instead if you, like you're saying you would not prefer the visual interface and you'd rather do some text-based sort of thing?
I'm saying just from like the standpoint of like if I'm using some sort of AI code interface to build stuff, like feed it the Nifty docs, and then now I can just directly inject code instead of going through visual scripting. Like it's probably good for people who don't know how to do that kind of stuff. But if I'm somebody who's a little bit more advanced and I would just want to go directly to that kind of scripting, could that be available?
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely supply, because I mean, you're right, right? Everything's data. It's not actually JSON. It's kind of like a proprietary binary thing under the hood, but it could, there's intercompatibility with JSON. Actually, no, that's false. It's JSON at the end of the day. Everything is.
Well, I figured.
So, I mean, it's definitely something we could support if there was an AI out there that was capable of doing that, as far as actually, if anyone wanted to try and manually create those JSON files for themselves, that would probably be not very fun. But
Yeah.
theoretically, you could just pop the JSON in there. I mean, if text-based stuff like far down the line becomes like a really big priority for people, like it's technically possible with the way it's built to have bindings to like a more standard programming language. It's not really well suited for in-game, but there's more options there too. So there's things we could explore if those things become like super high leverage.
Cool.
But
Yeah,
visual scripting seems to be the best, like, for all in the beginning, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, we could probably provide some way to just inject JSON. Long, short answer.
Definitely. It's just as AI continues to break down barriers for non-coders to be able to just natural language prompt what you want and then have it spit out the JSON. It just
Yeah, for sure.
that's where everything else is trending. While and I love visual scripting. I think it's way better for the average person. But again, just for those more advanced people who would rather that kind of interface and feel more comfortable there.
Yeah, I think there's also like, AI tooling is getting better every day, and training in AI and the quality with which we're able to train an AI. Like, I don't think there'd be any problem with actually like training something on like the language of, yeah. I mean, it could be the JSON of like a few like successful games on here, and then give it like the documentation and like the full language set. And it could probably do a decent job, at least like, at least with an initial implementation. Maybe it won't work, but it could save you a lot of time doing that. I don't know that we
It could
put it
also-
in game or not, but like, that tooling could certainly exist.
Yeah, and like I said in the beginning, it could also just be like, okay, now, an agent just says, okay, add coins, add that widget, and then connect it to this widget. Just like a step-by-step instruction for people.
Mhm.
Again, just a thought.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's just in general, it's been asked a lot, like, oh, can we like AI generate islands? Can we AI, just AI do anything? And yeah, I mean, it's becoming easier and easier to do stuff like that. Yeah, it's just about training it on the data set, and then it's about exposing like the hooks for it to go do the thing. Cool. Any other questions? This is actually one of our biggest updates in a long time, but we're being a little informal about it because I think we're not talking about it publicly yet, but we've made a lot of progress on it, and it's going to be coming out pretty soon, sooner than you think probably. like I'll say on the what we're planning is time frame of weeks, not months. So for an initial release here, and we may still do like a soft launch on it, and start publicizing it when we get some testing on the system folders. But yeah, I mean this is one of the biggest announcements we've had. So in terms of game development.
Yeah, exactly. We want to make sure that you guys kind of. I think like transparency is the best way to go with the core with you guys, like the core community and people who are really like helping make the game progress. We definitely want to like juice this and have it be a kind of big splashy announcement when it actually goes live. But it's nice for you guys to be able to see like, okay, a lot's going on in the background, and you can start thinking about how you can utilize it, what you might want to build.
Wait, so I'm curious. Are custom games tied to the play to earn for the meantime? Because people might actually start abusing it to exploit the earning model.
Are they tied to play to earn?
Yep. Like for example,
I would say
if you play a custom game,
go ahead.
are you gonna be able to earn gems through that?
So there's kind of rework coming to the entire game system that's like to make this work, because like the obvious thing that's going to happen is people are going to make, if we let you just earn blooms like on any game, people are going to make idle farming game. That is what's going to happen. So there's an amendment coming to the system as a whole. And aside from that, they're not tied in specifically with play to earn whatsoever. They are just normal play to earn games. And I think play to earn aside, like say play to earn didn't exist, we'd still have to not let you earn blooms in the same way from all these custom games, right? Unless they were vetted by some source, we are doing something there.
Yeah,
just because it's going to be so easy to farm it,
We have we have other stuff that's going on in the background, so that when people put lots of effort into making a really crazy custom game, we want to make sure that people can find it and that it's adequately rewarded. So content curation is something that's getting an overhaul as well, and in a way that will really augment this. So if you make a really awesome game, if you make like a truly full-fledged, zombie horde mode that's beautiful and polished, we want to make sure you're getting lots of players there and make sure you're able to get rewarded for it, make sure everybody knows it exists. So that is something that is happening as well.
Hey guys, happy Mike. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
Mike, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having the campfire again. Super stoked.
Of course.
Will the NPCs be somehow integrated into this, and will we be able to use them in this new mode in the scripting and stuff?
You will, and you will be able to use them outside of the scripted games as well. So if you want to make a death match with a bunch of NPCs, there's no reason to stop you guys from just dropping a bunch of them down or having a spawner. But yes, you will be able to also use them in scripted games, and you'll have more control if you do that.
Nice. Also, is there going to be a update to fishing where we're going to be able to put spawn points for fish in like the inland waters instead of just on the outside?
Yeah. Effectively, yes. So what we do want to do is have not exactly a bait, but something you can toss to have more localized higher concentration fish in a spot. So if you wanted to do that in inner waters, you could. There's a lot coming for fishing as well, in terms of progression. I'm not going to get into it here because we're going to save it, but we are still, there's still stuff coming for fishing. That's all I'll say. And yeah, we are going to do something like that. What we're not going to do is have like a permanent thing you can place down to have fish spawn in a particular spot, because that's just a farming exploit. So we have to stay away from that. But we can do it like in a temporary way, or something that you have to play or pay to earn.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it too. Thanks for the question. If anyone else has questions, do chime in.
Also, if anyone on this small shard of G-Lab wants to hop onto River Valley and play some games, we got 4 people here.
Wait, what's
And
the
we're
name?
ready.
Oh,
We're so ready.
What's the name?
Yeah.
Yo, fam.
Moving out.
Got a quick
We're
question
on,
for
we're
y'all.
on River Valley. But don't everyone come. Hey, what's up? Who's this?
Too fat or Community Evo. What's up, Zunk?
Hey, what's up? Hey.
Hey,
Good
chill.
to see you.
Likewise. Hey, Charles. Thanks for the space today. Appreciate y'all for coming through.
Of course. Of course.
Question regarding legendary pistols. Something that I've always thought was pretty cool was seeing the unique traits in some of the pistols there. They have scopes, and some of the nicer traits will have different features on them, mainly scopes. Just wondering if they'll ever get usable in-game traits, such as like an inspection. I don't know, for some of y'all who play COD or some other games, will have like a really cool way to inspect their gun. Kind of when they're hanging out on the island, it does like a cool throw animation where it just kind of tosses it in the air. I'm not sure how hard that would be to implement, but perhaps maybe usable traits such as looking down the scope of their pistol. Just wonder if that's something that could ever be implemented in the future. If that's something doable, that would be really cool to see come to the game.
Yeah. So one thing that we're trying not to do with the pistols is give you any advantage using them, but there could be cosmetic traits. I think there's like a minor muzzle flare for them. It's not very much. There could be more cosmetic stuff you could do, or at least like see their traits. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, what kind of stuff beyond like stuff that would give you an advantage would you like to see?
Yo, Zom,
Yeah, that's the thing where it may be a competitive advantage.
You're
I'd see
tracking some
6.
pistol would be dope.
Yeah.
Like able to track how many kills you made in that pistol.
Yeah. Some like
Oh,
custom emotes would be cool if there was a custom emote that like used the pistol specifically that you have.
It'd be
Alright.
nice to see more of the styles, like how people show off their pistols when they bring up the scale of it, but to actually when they have their pistols equipped in game, maybe a way to just showcase that a little bit more, because they're really pretty. I know some of the community textures and just some of those pistols are really pretty, and they look good when they're scaled up, but when they're in hand, I almost want to say they kind of get missed away. Sorry, Zon.
Yeah. One thing we are doing is trying to enhance the like showing off your stuff, right? So right now when you win a game, when you lose a game, it still shows you at the end, right? But really it should show like the MVP or the winner. And we have a bunch of stuff coming, cosmetics and stuff like that are going to apply to situations like that. And I think one of the things you want to do is better show off your weapons during that time. So like sword and pistol, like we could show them in your hand, or we could show them like on the screen larger if you want to inspect like the sword of the person who won the game, something like that. I think that's something we definitely want to do, is get give some focus to inventory and make it more attractive, and also just like give you like more places to show it off. If you win, you should be people should have to see your sword and stuff really well, because you like your stuff, and they should be forced to see it because you killed them. That's how the world works, basically. But along those lines, like I think having some just like bundles of custom stuff that you can do and have for owning a pistol or a palm. For example, like a custom kill banner that you have only for pistol, or like you win the game and there's like a custom like victory emote that you only get when you have a legendary pistol, and it kind of like shows off the pistol. Stuff like that, I think we definitely be open to. So like cosmetics path for this stuff is definitely we're definitely
Right.
looking at that.
I like that. I like the sounds of that. And not to take away like the sound, that unique sound of the Ultra Blade, but just a way to kind of enhance them both in a way where the legendary pistols are still getting their clout, still getting a little bit of shine, because they've been around for a while. Even 2021, I remember getting my first pistol. But they look great in game when they're enlarged, and yeah, but definitely not to take away from the Ultra Blade sounds, because those are great. But just like I say, a way to enhance it. But thanks, yo. Appreciate y'all answering the question. That was awesome. Look forward to it.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Good to
thanks.
see
Hey,
you.
big love. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you too. Thanks, son.
Zong, do you think it's possible to create a battle royale through scripting?
Yeah. So I think it's really close, and we just need to add like I guess like a reverse trigger basically.
Yeah.
So battle royale, yeah. You just make a circle that changes its size over time and kills you when it touches you, and you have battle royale. So yeah, it's one of those things where like someone's probably gonna, either we do it now and it's part of the initial release, or someone's gonna ask for it pretty immediately, and we're like, okay, we'll do that. So we're gonna dedicate some time after the initial release to fielding that kind of stuff, because there's just gonna be some obvious stuff that we missed and the community's gonna ask for. Any other questions on scripting, or everyone's? I'm sure everyone's jaws are still on the floor, but
They really did it. They really did it.
What is a battle ram, Doc?
Huh?
Doc said something about battle ram. I don't know what is a battle ram.
You say battering ram?
Battle ram. I don't know what is that. Battle ram.
Where are you seeing this? A battle ram would be good though. I think he's saying like a battling ram. So, battling ram sticks. That's something you've come across.
Nah,
You're gonna love them.
we don't
You're gonna
have that
absolutely
here.
love them. Yeah. Somebody post some battling ram content in the chat.
Okay, we
Let's
definitely
see
don't
now.
have that here.
Okay. Yeah. Kale taking a more loose definition of that.
So will
Great.
we be able to build like catapults and like old school those types of weapons too? Like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I think with the initial release, there'll be like at least like rudimentary versions that you can do. Because for a catapult, let's see, you need to animate something and you need to like move something along a trajectory. That's the projectile. I think what we'd really like is like actually having physics objects, and then you could do some really cool stuff like catapults. And that stuff it's not out of the question. It's just not like scheduled right now when we're going to work on that. So physics objects, also like a ball, right? I mean that's the big one. You get a ball and you can do like a soccer or something like that. Soccer with guns. And if you can do soccer, you can make catapults.
What about like watercraft or like carts? Like, can we be able to build like a kart game or a jet ski game or something like that too?
Let's see. I think like probably not out of the gate with these like very custom movement abilities, but that's more of like a like vehicle support. So like this system will be able to support that kind of stuff, but I think we just we won't have the nodes for it like at first. I don't know if you have any comments on that, Dan.
Yeah, I think probably in these initial days, it's going to be more what Zach's saying there. I think kind of part of the development plan moving forward, which Zach was alluding to, is like the way scripting works is it's a lot like Unreal Blueprints, where we're kind of just giving you guys like a filtered view into what our code base is and giving you ways to interact with the mechanics we built. So basically, as we build stuff moving forward, the new mechanics we introduce into the game will be passed on to you. So as soon as we have something that's like theoretically capable of making vehicles working, then you should, in theory, be able to create them in game. When that time for like a specific implementation is, it's hard to say right now, just looking at schedule and stuff like that. But I would think like even before we have vehicle support, if we have a way to like move an object, then in theory you could like hook up a button or find some way to like kind of move user input into that object to make like a rudimentary vehicle. So it might not be like the exact mechanics you're thinking of, but I think if we don't have that mechanic implemented and exposed to you guys yet, then there's always ways to get creative with what's there. I guess that's what I'd say.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know like how you guys will use the things we expose to you beyond like obviously if we expose the ability to like equip a gun, we kind of know what you're going to use that for. But there's a lot of open-endedness in some of the other nodes we might provide.
See, it's a good question because I think it's the kind of question where I would probably just start digging into like how we might do that with Dan, and I think I will do that a little bit right now. So, like at its roots, like if we wanted to like make an extensible vehicle system, there's in like a kind of simple way. Well, what do you have to do? You have to spawn in like a model for a vehicle. You have to set the like animation or of the player and their position relative to the vehicle, and then it's mostly about like setting the character controller's movement. Does it float in water? How fast is it? How does it behave like running over terrain? Does it like stick to terrain or does it just launch right off? And all that kind of stuff, is like supported in anything that I just mentioned there. Like, sorry, it's stuff that we do like it, right? It's just not supported by scripting yet. But you could see how like we might, maybe there's a script that you drop down that's a vehicle script, and there's a couple things you hook in. Like I said, for quests, right? You drop down a quest script, and there's some stuff to hook in for like how do players get points. So you drop down a vehicle script, and it's like, okay, like how does it affect movement? What's the model? What's the animation for the player? Like how do they sit relative to the vehicle? And there you go. I guess you want some animations for the vehicle too. What does it look like when it's moving? What does it look like when it's not? And then you have like composable vehicles that you can do through scripting, and that would be pretty cool. And it could be a good way for us to handle vehicles generally, just make them like this kind of composable architecture out of the box. Then we can make a lot of vehicles up front, but also users can using the same tools that we do.
As long as there a feature that allows players to access save data, like for example, I want to stop playing this custom game mode and save my data and load anytime I want. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It's kind of between like two of the examples or like types of scripts that I mentioned. So what we said was like we were thinking of having like savable progression or just savable anything on like a per island level, per island per user. There's not a reason you couldn't do something like this per game. I guess we could see if people come to us with like the use case for that, but as it is right now, like games are kind of like generally like quick things that have like a start and end, with like within 10 minutes.
Yep.
If you were to do a longer one like that and like save your progress, I don't know. It's certainly probably not too difficult. Beyond it's not like difficult to implement. It's a lot of data potentially, and then like kind of just trying to think of what the use case would be. Do you have one?
Yeah, for example, there's a game that allows you to have this X amount of bullets or pistols, and you want to load in whenever. like just a progress system for a game. For example, that much it allows you to buy a sniper. And you want to load in the next game with a sniper,
Hmm.
like something like that.
Yeah.
So I think one way
Yeah.
there's definitely a way we could support that, Zach, pretty easily, right? Like if you had scripts that, like if you have an event for detecting when a game ends, and you can check what type of game it is, and then if we implement that player save data, or when we do, then you might be able to, right? You could access that data inside and outside the game. But like Zach mentioned, I think the stuff we have to like keep a big handle on with those sorts of features is just making sure like data is kept a bit in check, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, in a team deathmatch, could you have certain script something so certain players are you play to their abilities? Would that be something like? So you got better snipers, you have better swords people. Like, would that
Oh,
be something that
100%.
could be?
For sure. So that's one thing that's going to be definitely possible. So this is like, you know how right now you can set up like the player like movement and whatever, like for everybody in the game, but you can't do it for players individually. Scripting opens it up to do anything. So you could do it like per team. You could do it randomly. You could do it like based on the spawn point. Down the line, like we could let like players opt into a particular class too. You know, it's just like you could pop up some UI right when the game starts, or like when you die, and it's like choose your class. It would be in a pretty simple way, right? Like choose your class. Maybe there's a few options and just like text options. Just start as we get the system off the ground. But yeah, basically any like trigger that we give you, you can use to set a player's capabilities, and you can do any capabilities. So yeah, team change. If you get shot in the face, you turn into a chair, and now you can jump 100 feet. Anything you can think of.
All right, y'all. We're taking the last two questions before we wrap up this workshop. So if you have one, go ahead right now.
Golf.
Who said that?
Who do you think said it?
Well, you know,
Will it be possible
there's a
or
few
what?
candidates. Yeah. So golf, basically like networked ball is what we need. Aside from that, yes. So, logic wise, 100%, and then we gotta like spend a little time getting like networked objects in.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, golf is coming.
So it's something like golf. Would you have to build something in, like, would we be able to change like from a driver to a putter to chipper, or would it be like in the beginning just one club? It'd kind of be like fishing, sort of. Like, how would that work?
Yeah. Let me think. I mean, certainly to start, like we're using like the in-game tools, and we don't have like you like setting custom animations, right, and stuff like that. So it could work with like, I don't know, like out of the box, like you're hitting it with a sword or something like that, or you like run at it, and I don't know, however you can hit something right now. Ultimately, though, it's like, you could, I don't know, you could hit the thing with logic too. So let's see, yeah, you could walk into a zone and equip putter, right? Like those shops in the other one. You walk into the zone, boom, now you have the putter. You walk up to the thing, and you like just press an action key on it, and you hit. I don't know. It's like, it's more questions like how would you implement golf, and like to what level of detail, and that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that's gonna be like, people are gonna hit a wall scripting and be like, can you add this? And we'll be like, yeah, sure. So stuff that you won't be able to do out of the box, which we could still add, but like custom UI. So like if I think of a golf game, where they'll have like a, you know, be like there's like a bar, and it's like you have a thing going back and forth, and you like hit it to get your power level. You might have like a line showing the trajectory of the golf ball, that kind of stuff. That's all doable. There's no reason you can't do that. It's just not the initial feature set. So I think the stuff that's lacking to make like a next level golf game is going to be like some of that custom UI stuff, and the ball physics is probably the biggest one.
I'm asking my last question. Do you think we're ever gonna be scripting outside a playground game?
Oh yeah.
Nice, that's huge.
Easy. I'll just restate it, but yeah, it's yeah. So scripting for quests, scripting on your island, scripting just like within all contexts, right? Button opens door in the game, on your island, in the quest. So like yeah, different contexts for scripts, and not all of them will be in playground games. And the system's built like that right now.
Got it.